What's up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract Podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How was your day?
How was your week?
How was your life?
Going.
Woo! Well, I know that this podcast is coming.
Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas, dear listeners. Even though I think your birthday was in April sometime. Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, so this episode will be coming out after Christmas, but we are recording
on Christmas Eve.
So if you're out there,
we hope you guys had an amazing Christmas. Had an amazing Christmas.
We haven't even started drinking yet.
We haven't. I think it's these hats. They're cutting off the circulation to our brain. I could feel like my forehead's in excitement because the hat's pulling my forehead back.
You like my hat?
I like your hat.
You like my hat?
The naughty.
Naughty.
Sonja's a naughty elf. Yeah.
Anyways, I'm excited. I'm excited for the kids. I'm excited to spend time with the family. Excited to have some tamales and some menudo.
Yeah.
You know, all that good stuff. Yeah. 1 year down. Hopefully COVID is going to be non-existent next year.
I don't think so. That's wishful thinking.
Dude, it's just
like at this point we can wish that one variant is over with.
Yeah.
And then we'll have to deal with the next one.
We started happy-go-lucky, and then I had to bring that up. Huh? Yeah. It's like every time we get a cold, or every time we get a cough, or every time we get a tickle in our throat, it's like, oh, we got to go get a COVID test.
Yeah.
Just because, to protect those that we're going to be around.
Yeah. Earlier last week, Audrey got a cold. Mm-hmm. And of course, we got to go get tested and do the whole thing. And then Sonja started getting a cold, so we tested Sonja. Everybody, but we're all negative, so we're all right.
But it's just like, do you remember when life was simple?
I know.
You have a cold. Oh, it's okay.
I know. We're sitting on the kitchen counter yesterday doing a freaking test, and I did for a second there, I thought, I'm like, who would have ever seen this coming? Like, we're sitting here freaking testing ourselves for viruses in our house.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
anyways,
happy birthday to you. Oh my God.
So we have Michaela here.
Yeah. My oldest daughter's here visiting us for the holidays.
She's gonna be 16 already.
I know.
Insane.
Freaking nuts.
And it's been great. It's been really good.
Yeah.
I've shared a lot of bonding moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about that time.
And we still got another 2 weeks that she'll be with us, and we'll have a good time.
Yes. I love the fact that her and Audrey are bonding finally. Bonding because there was there's a gap in age there. Audrey's 12. Michaela's going to be 16.
Yeah.
And it seems like this time around, they're really...
like they're having fun together.
Yes.
Yeah. And actually, I think with both of the kids, I think they're bonding a little bit more this vacation or her trip over here or whatever. Yeah.
And it's been difficult, just because it is long distance. Like, she lives in Virginia. She's always,
she's always lived
outside,
away from us.
Arizona. Yeah, so it's been tough. And those of you that are watching that are maybe going through the same situation, it is what it is. You have to make the best of it.
Yeah.
With the time that you do have with each other, and then.
Yeah, like you said, you do the best you can with what you got. Yep. So, so we're going to be heading over to visit some family later, right? And then after that, tomorrow we'll be back in the house, hanging out with the kids and opening presents and doing the whole Christmas thing.
Yes,
so that'll be fun. Last episode, we had Daniel on, which was a blast. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be posting that one up. Well, you guys will see it. It's already in the future for those of you listening, but I'll be posting it today in the group, so maybe you guys can check it out. If you haven't
watched it, I mean, it's one of our best, I feel, episodes.
Yeah, it was very
heartfelt, very real.
And fun.
Yes.
It was fun at the same time.
It was fun. Right? Yes.
I mean, we were talking about some serious stuff.
Yes.
And you know what? There was something that I wanted to mention while we're talking about that. We've been recording now for coming on 3 years, babe. This is another year This is the third time that we've done this now.
Right.
You know, like a Christmas episode. This is the third time we've done this.
Yeah, we were just sharing how
this is crazy.
Stupid you looked on the last one.
Yeah. Go back.
How silly. No.
Go back to last year's Christmas episode and check out the stupid ass glasses that I had on.
They were Joey's, and
I was like, give me that. Maybe I'll get a couple extra views. This year we decided to put these hats on.
Hey, don't be talking crap about my hats.
And for those of you that have X-ray vision, I got Jingle Bell boxer briefs on. Or
why are you trying to
on.
share what's mine?
I don't know if you can hear it. Hold on.
Oh, I was like, is that you jingling? I'm like, are you wearing?
Be quiet. I'm going to mute your ass for a second. See if you can hear the jingle bells.
I'm going to kick you in the
head.
Hold
up. You guys got to watch this. I'm going to pull something.
Yeah, and you're going to spill coffee.
Here we go. Let's see if you can hear it.
Nope. No, you can't. You just look
fucking dumbass.
Like an idiot.
I muted myself instead of muting you. Anyway, I'm still learning how to work this shit out after 3 years.
Right.
But no, what I was going to say is that, you know, after 3 years of recording episodes and different podcasts, and we've talked about a lot of different things, right? Mm-hmm. You know, we've had fun and we've talked about some serious issues. And have you ever felt like you've said something that you didn't mean?
Oh my God.
On the show? Or like you go back and listen to something and you're like, oh shit. Like that's not what I meant. Or that's not how I meant to say it.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you know, sometimes it happens all the time. And if anybody, like if you guys can imagine, for those of you that don't do something like this, you know, we have to think of things to talk about, right? And also while we're talking, we're also trying to think of things to talk about. So sometimes if you're thinking fast or on the fly and you say something that maybe doesn't come out right, or you didn't mean, or you didn't
have to be mindful of the other person as well.
Yeah, and you don't think something completely through. But no, I was just thinking when we recorded.
Did you say something again? No.
No, again. No, it wasn't what I thought. But when I was listening to the last episode, there was a part where we were talking something about Daniel doing like research back in the day about like what he had, like what was going on in his life. You know, like he was trying to figure out like, what is this gay thing? Because this was like way back then, right? It wasn't like out in the open just like it is now. And I said something like when he was doing the research, like I made it seem like it was a condition.
Oh.
You know what I mean? At least that's how it sounded when I said it. And because Daniel kept talking and I didn't want to interrupt him either, you know, I didn't get a chance to clarify or whatever. But I was just kind of thinking about that. And I was just kind of thinking that back then they may have looked at it as a condition as opposed to today where they're like, it's not a condition. It's just that people are into different things. Yeah. It's just what it is.
I got that when I remember you saying that, and I didn't think anything of it. But I mean, there's times where I say some stupid shit on here, you know, that doesn't make sense. I'm sure you guys would be like, that was fucking stupid. Like I'm thinking of something and you're talking and I want, you know, it's something that I want to
elaborate on or
and then I forget about it and then I remember later on and I throw it in later on the podcast and it makes no kind of sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you said, for those of you that are listening, if you have never recorded a podcast,
it's just speaking in front of people.
Yes.
You know, because when you're speaking, in order to make like talking, like if you're on a stage or presenting or training or doing whatever, like part of making it so that you're not a robot is that you're thinking on the fly and you're trying to put some, you know, something fresh on it or whatever you want to call it. But in that process, sometimes things come out wrong.
Yeah. And sometimes it could be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I was just talking to Adriana about this the other day. You were on the table. We were having dinner and her and I were in a Christmas play and she had to memorize these steps.
Like hand movements.
Yes. And she was practicing every day and she got them down. I mean, she knew her shit so much that they were having her teach one of the new girls that they threw in kind of like at the last minute.
Yeah.
And being in front and when it was time for the play, she froze.
Yeah.
You know, she froze and she's been kind of beating herself up about it, but it's like, you know what? Shit happens. I remember the first time I did a presentation and how nervous I was, and my voice was shaking. And it still happens sometimes on the podcast, depending on how I'm feeling or where I'm at
what we're talking
during
about.
the conversation. So it's just, you have to be kind to yourself when you mess up, and you have to learn to laugh at yourself and not to take yourself so serious. And there's so many people that do. It's like, okay, you fucked up. You know what you did was wrong. Now, let's fix it. Or from this point on, it's like you learn from your mistakes. And I was talking to Joey about this.
Yeah.
Because those of you that have been listening to this podcast, that's just something with him. He's very hard on himself. And I told him, and he's such a kind boy. He's such a loving, kind boy.
That is crazy, huh? Like how he's so nice and so kind to everybody else, but he's pretty rough with himself.
Yes.
Like mentally.
Yes. And that's a conversation that I had to have with him.
Yeah.
It's like, you have to love you. You have to be kind to yourself. Yeah. And I had to give him some examples, and us adults do the same shit. Like the way we talk to ourselves, there's no way we would talk to someone else.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
And I was asked a question the other day by a teen, and she asked me, she's like, do you ever wonder what's going on in like Audrey's head? Like, do you ever wonder or ask her or check in with her?
Yeah.
Like, hey, are you okay? Because you as a parent, you'll know when your child is off, and at times maybe not, because we're so busy, right? We're so busy these days that we're not connected to our children.
Yeah.
The way that we should be connected. And I looked at her, and it felt good, because that is something that you and I practice.
We do.
But a lot of parents don't.
Yeah. I was just listening to a book, and they were talking about like kids and their feelings. Like when daughters are having that emotional episode and their feelings are like wound up or whatever. And one thing that they were talking about was trying to get them to explain or to put their emotions into words, and trying to help them do that. And sometimes they give us the opportunity to do that, because, I mean, at least in our case, like what I've seen with Audrey, like they'll show you, you'll see it when they're upset or when something's going on. And then sometimes they'll say something that kind of lets you know that they're upset or that something's
wrong.
But how you like, if they're not good at putting their emotions into words, and just kind of something that Audrey has struggled with a little bit is her vocabulary and expressing herself sometimes.
Yes.
And if we respond with, what? Huh? What are you talking about?
I've done it before.
I've done it too. Just your tone will shut down the entire conversation. It will eliminate that opportunity for you.
Yes.
And one place that I've also noticed that is with Joey.
Yes.
There's been times where I'm busy this is where I realized it, is that I'll be busy working, and Joey is trying to, just honestly, he's just trying to have a moment with me. He wants to get his dad's attention, and I'm facing the computer. I have almost like my back to him almost, because I'm working, and he's talking. And when he said, hey, the Transformers, they do this, and did you know that this and that? And if I really want to know like what he's talking about, it's all about the tone, because you could say the same thing in two different ways, and it just you get two different results. Like if I turn around and I'm like, hey, Joe, what was that? What did you just say? What were you talking about? What are you talking about? And he's like, oh, this Transformer, this and that. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. That's
What? And it's like,
forget about it.
Okay, Dad.
Yeah.
And it's happened to me before. I've had it both ways. It's just trying to remember to not have it go the other way. You know what I mean?
And I think also not only is it important to check in with your kids, I talked to you the other day. I went on to, I completed a signing appointment, and my borrowers were talking, and they had mentioned that the neighbor across the street had lost their son, who is 20 years old, to suicide.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, like, what can possibly be that bad?
Yeah.
For someone to take their life.
Yeah.
And when you see what's happening in the world, a lot of our preteens and teens, they're hearing a lot. They know what's happening. Even though we don't listen to the news in our home, Audrey is aware. She is aware, and she had expressed the other day her concerns for the future.
Yeah. You know what that kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of like social media and Facebook, like how they say that even if you don't have Facebook, they have your information because people that you know have Facebook and they have your information. Exactly. So it's kind of like that, where even though she doesn't have all the social media and we don't watch the news and we don't kind of do all the things that maybe everybody else does that kind of affects their kids.
Right.
She's still around all of it. Yes. Like you can't escape it.
Right. And so that's why I feel that it's very important just to check in with your kids to see how they're doing, to try to tap into their thoughts.
They don't
the other day.
Sorry, go ahead.
I received an email from school about this new TikTok challenge.
The one about hurting the teachers or something, or is that the one?
The bomb.
Oh, school. Okay. Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, I can't stand any of that shit. But there was one about like hurting teachers or like doing something like violent in the school, or I don't know.
Yeah, and it's just yeah. And anyways, you have been asked me, should we keep Joey home? Remember? This was last week.
Yeah. Well, my only thought is,
and it's like, do we talk to the kids about this? Do we or not? Because do we scare them? Do we not talk to them? Or should we talk to them so that they are not blindsided, kind of deal? Yeah. And
are we gonna bring up something that isn't even gonna be a thing?
Right.
And we're just worrying them for nothing.
Well, yesterday Audrey and her friend were sitting at the table, and Arlene brought it up, and Audrey was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Oh, the TikTok challenge and da 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 da." And I guess one of their friends got in trouble or something because of it.
Because of the challenge?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Audrey was oblivious to it. She had no idea.
Really? Yeah.
Regarding it, until her friend had brought it up at the table. But it's like in those situations, you ask yourself, like, are you doing them a disservice by not informing them? But then again, it's like, our kids, and it's like, do we scare them? Do we make them feel unsecure? You know what I'm saying? Or not safe in those types of situations? Do you bring it to their attention?
Well, I'll just say what I was thinking. In that moment when you were telling me, I think it was like the last day of school, right? It was like the Friday. Oh, yes. That was like last Friday. Kids were getting out. The only reason, like my thought was, what are they missing out on? Like, they don't need to go to school today. What are they going to do? Watch movies? Right. That's all they do on the day before Christmas.
Yeah.
So what if something happens or whatever? Like the chances, like they're not missing out on anything.
Yeah.
They could just stay home, and then that is just not even a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was my thought. But then kind of also the same thing of just implanting that into their head. That there's like some kind of freaking threat of violence at their school.
Right.
That, yeah, it's supposed to only happen during Christmas, but now it's in your head and it could happen at any time.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
But
these are just some of the things that our kids are going through. And a lot of them have these insecurities regarding their future because of everything that's happening. You know, with COVID, Joey's like, I just wish it would go away. Just go away.
Yeah.
You know, and even though they're young, you think that it doesn't affect them, but it really does.
Yeah. Nobody gets out of childhood, adolescence, or just growing up. Nobody gets out of it unscathed. It doesn't matter. I mean, I just, even people that are experts at being parents, they probably weren't experts when they were parents.
Right.
And their kids probably have some things to work out. Like, I think everybody has something that, I mean, it's just how we are. And if you don't, like, there's things that could be better. So there's always just work, like, nonstop. But nobody gets out of it, you know, unscathed.
And a lot of times, you know, you and I, as a couple, as a married couple, I also feel that it's important for us to check in with each other.
Yeah.
Because you had a rough week last week, you know, and I felt the tension. I felt, you know, the stress, but I wasn't sure exactly where it was coming from. And then we are the house that has the kids.
Yeah.
So we always have extra kids over,
yeah,
you know, and it was loud and rowdy and, you know, and you needed some time, you know, just to disconnect.
Yeah.
And I wasn't in tune with you, even though I was feeling the stress of the house, but I didn't know personally that you were going through it at the time until I got out of the shower and I was like, hey, you know, like, don't you hear the kids upstairs?
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't
you know,
give a
and
fuck.
I came at you, and when it was too late, because the way I came at you, you know, like, I was upset. I was feeling stressed. You know, it was not the right way to approach the situation, but I didn't know what was going on with you. So, you know, if you are a couple, or, you know, you have a significant other, I think it's also important, not only during these times, but all, you know, just throughout, to really check in on each other to see, you know, how you know.
We ask each other all the time. You know, like,
we do.
We're always checking on each other. You know, it's always like, hey, you okay? Everything all right? You know, like, if I know that you're getting stressed out, or if you see that I'm getting, like, you'll ask me.
Yeah.
And I'll ask you.
But I think it's too with the holidays.
But
we're like so busy. Like, we're so busy that I didn't get a chance to check in on you, you know, because I was out working. You were in the house working with all the crazy kids. You know, and it was one thing after another, but it's also important to check in with your significant other as well. Not only the kids, but.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. It's just, it gets frustrating sometimes. Everything does.
It's life.
That's just what it is. But I think over, you know, the last few years, or over our relationship, like, we've kind of worked on it, and everybody gets frustrated. Everybody gets pissed off. But it just, the way we deal with it changes over time. Like, I'll get frustrated and pissed. It doesn't last very long anymore. You know, it might last me for a little while, and then I chill out, or take some time for myself, and then, all right, I'm good. You know?
Yeah. See, but most people don't take that time for themselves.
Yeah. And it does help that we check in on each other.
You know, and then one problem turns into another problem.
Yeah.
And next thing you know you're beating each other. No.
Jeez, that escalated. Holy crap.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, it's Christmas, and now we're close to opening up the presents. Is this the first, did the kids find out last year?
Yes.
Joey found out last year. Mm-hmm. So this is the first year where the whole house, everybody knows that about Santa, and that we are Santa, which kind of works out better for us. But this year, dude, we've been reckless with the fucking presents.
No, we have not.
Be like, here, wrap your own shit. You already know.
That is not true. I've been wrapping everything.
No, but we kept it's not hiding it anymore.
No,
and now we keep it with a blanket on it in the closet.
Well,
it's
babe,
like, what?
Shut up. She may be listening
You know what I'm saying? But
it's coming on after Christmas. But no, that's the only thing. But what's so funny is it's out in the open. They have no idea. Like, we throw a freaking blanket over and they have no idea.
It makes it almost easier because now the ones that we want to hide, we can hide.
See, I feel that it's better that they know, because if they're not being good, the presents are going to reflect.
Yeah.
You know, so, and not only that, we've been busted before. Like, they've actually seen their presents before. Now it's like, when we get them, I wrap them. They have no idea. Yeah. Except, this is hilarious. Okay, so normally we don't allow the kids to shake the presents. That's not something we do.
Yeah.
But
let's talk about that.
Yeah. But, you know, Michaela comes in and she has this great idea. She's like, hey, Sonja, can we go shake the presents?
You weren't there.
And I'm like,
you weren't there.
I was down here, but I heard you guys. I heard everything.
I'm upstairs with Michaela and Audrey. We're sitting down by the tree.
And Joey's there, right?
I don't know if Joey was there. He might have been there. But it was Michaela and Audrey that were talking. And I'm sitting there. And they're shaking the presents, you know, like they're not looking or anything, but they're shaking it, trying to figure out what is what.
Right.
And because they have an Amazon list, they can use some logic to try to figure out what's what. Mm-hmm. And so they start shaking. And at first, like the first one, it was like a weighted blanket for Audrey. Uh-huh. And they start shaking the bot, and they're like, this thing's kind of heavy. And then they're kind of moving it around, and they're like, I think this is that blanket. And I was like, holy shit, they got it. And then there was another one. And
the stool, the drum.
Well, there was something else, and they got that too. Mm-hmm. And then, so Audrey wanted an electric drum set, which we ended up getting from a friend. But it didn't come with a stool. So we bought her the stool and the drumsticks. Mm-hmm. And Audrey picks up the box that the stool's in, and she starts shaking it, and she's like, I have some chairs on my wish list.
Yes.
And I was like, how the fuck did she pick out of everything? She picks up this box and says chairs. Mm-hmm. But then she says, the chairs that I have are soft and kind of fluffy. And when she's rattling it around, you hear like clink, 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 clink.
Right.
And then Michaela's like, you said you wanted a drum set. And she's like, yeah, it could be a chair for a drum set. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's exactly what was in the box. I'm like, how the hell did these kids fucking narrow that shit down? I'm like, damn, they're good. I'm like, that's it. Put all the shit down and stop fucking shaking stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, it was funny.
So, since Michaela's been here, some of her friends have been going through some stuff, and she's been talking to me about it and asking me how to respond because she's not sure how to respond.
Yeah.
And I remember in the book Untitled, and they talked about this. They talked about when your friends are going through something, and when you are that person that they turn to for help, you have a huge weight on your shoulders, because everything you say counts, right? Everything you say. And
yeah, I got to go back and listen to that part.
Yes. And so I was talking to her about that, and, giving her some advice on that. And I see it also with Audrey. Same thing. When friends are going through hard times, they come to Audrey, and Audrey's trying to figure out how to respond. And I'm like,
they feel like they have responsibility,
right,
to respond. And like, if something happens to their friend, it's maybe partially their fault or something like that.
Right.
Because they did or said or didn't say or didn't do something or whatever.
Right. And it's just very important that we explain to our kids the importance of that and how to handle those types of situations, especially if it's a serious, situation.
What did you end up telling Michaela?
Well, there were two different situations, but me, I have like a ton of motivational YouTube, spiritual, just, little, I have a library of them. So I had sent her just a clip of, I was going through my YouTube inspirational clips, and I had sent one to her, and I had her watch it first, and she's like, "Oh, that's a good idea."
Yeah, I heard you tell her to send them stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, instead of trying to do like send them something like this, or to try to help them out, but like finding an appropriate video or something that they could watch.
Yeah, and not only that, but think about us adults when we're going through something, right? And it's something that we're embarrassed or we feel shame for. We don't openly talk about it until someone does.
Okay. Yeah.
It's when I always have people that come to me for advice or when they're going through things.
Yeah.
And what I have found works is me speaking my truth, and me being vulnerable opens the door for them to speak their truth. But not only that, but they know that, okay, it's not just me. It's not just me. I'm not alone.
That might be the first time that they're actually saying whatever it is out loud, maybe.
Right.
Because you're talking to them about your experiences or whatever your situation, and then like they may have never, like they know it, they've thought it, but they've never actually said it to anybody.
And sometimes, even we use this on the kids, but it's true with adults as well. Sometimes they just need someone to vent to.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't want the advice. Sometimes they just need to get it out.
Yeah, it's kind of like I was talking about a few episodes ago when they're telling you about something, and it's like, hey, just to let you know, like I have some ideas that maybe could help you out in this situation or whatever, but I don't know if that's what you want right now. If you just want to talk and you want me to listen, that's cool. But if you want me to tell you what I'm thinking, then that's cool too. But you can let me know. Yeah. And like I just said, the tone of how you approach it makes all the difference, Yeah.
How long? Because that is something that it took a while for you to recognize that.
I'm telling you, I recognized it one time.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, when do you remember the first time that something like that happened?
I think I started realizing, I remember it was with the word like, what? It was like, what or huh? Like when Joey would tell me something and I was busy, I'd be like, huh? What? And I noticed that just by saying it that way, it would shut him down.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then I think it was one time I was sitting at my table working and I was busy. I think I talked about it on here. Like I was busy and he was excited. Yeah. I made a clip out of it. You guys can go back and check it out. But it was something about like how I almost ruined his good day with my attitude and with my response. And that's what it started with. It was just by saying, what? Huh? And he wanted to talk to me about something that he was excited about, and if I wouldn't have caught it, it could have messed up his experience right then. Like he was excited. He was happy about something. And, so at that point I kind of started noticing that, I mean, the words are the same. It's just how I said it that had that effect on him, and when I said it differently, he was happier.
Do you feel that once you recognize that and you started handling things differently, that he started coming to you more often?
No, I don't think so, because we've always been close. Like we've always just, we cuddle all the time and we're very affectionate with each other. And I just think that it just keeps it going, because he comes home happy. And if he comes and tries to talk to me about something and I'm busy and I'm like, what? Huh? And he turns around and walks away, he's not going to be like that forever. And I'm not going to be like that forever. It might be a couple hours or later on when I'm done working and he goes and plays and does whatever. And then I'll go up to him and, hey, Joe, what's up? What are you doing? Or he'll come, hey, Dad, you want to? But that moment's gone. you know, but I did kind of mess up his mood or whatever for those 2 hours or whatever, right? And instead, it's like, all right, I'm going to listen. And that's the thing is that I didn't have to, like, yes, I had to stop what I was doing and give him a little bit of attention. But it's not like it took that much, because I'm sure it wasn't like, let me stop, like I'm done working for the day because you want to show me something. I'm sure that's not what it was. It was, let me focus my attention on my son for a second, see what he's excited about, and then, hey, Joe, I'm still not done working, but I want to see what what you're talking about. That looks really cool. You know, as soon as I'm done, we'll get back to it. And he's still happy.
Right.
We still did the same. I'm still getting my work done.
What has helped you become more mindful? Because you were not always this way. Like you were, yeah.
There's been a combination of things. And I think one of the biggest ones has been this podcast, I think. Yeah, I think I've heard Joe Rogan talk about it on his podcast. It's just the fact that we have that we do this. I mean, you can't keep recycling the same shit over and over again. And we're also trying to get better. And because of that, like, we listen to books, we read things, we want to share information with you guys. So it forces us to get better. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
It's constant progress and learning, and yeah. And you don't need a show to do that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Because if we didn't have a show, we'd still be focused on parenting.
Right.
You know, it wouldn't be any different. It just wouldn't be public.
Yeah, because I was thinking about, like, even with our marriage, you know, we've been through some challenging moments, and I was thinking, did we start to get closer, communicate better because of the podcast?
I would say it's helped, but it's not like we wouldn't be where we're at right now, because we're always trying to get better. Like, we'd still be reading the books. We'd still be looking up the stuff, doing the research.
Right.
We just share it with everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like there's no hiding. I told you that the other day. Right? I'm like, our shit is out there for the world to hear.
And you know what? Some of the things that have helped us out a lot, we've put together in a resource list that if you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com, and you just give it a second, you'll see it pop up. You guys can put in your name and your email, and it'll take you to a link so that you can download our resource list. And that's got a bunch of different podcasts, different videos, books that we've read, things that have kind of changed our perspective on different things, whether it's marriage, whether it's parenting, whether it's
finances,
money. Yes. And yeah, it's really helped us out, and you guys can get that for free by going to our website. And once you're on our website, you guys can also follow our social media there. You can listen to the podcast there. You can watch it there. You guys can send us a message if you click on the contact us. And if you want to support the show and you click on the support the show tab, that'll take you to your to the Amazon link. And anything that you purchase through that link doesn't cost you anything extra. And for those of you that did that during the holiday season, we really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And yeah, you can do all your shopping through there, and it'll help out the show. And you'll also see a link to Trust Inc. And Trust Inc. is?
We are a nationwide mobile notary and signing agency. So if you are in the process of purchasing, selling, or refinancing your home, you can request Trust Inc. to be your signing agency.
Yep. And you can go to Trust Inc. directly by going to trustinkusa.com. And we're also affiliates with Pinwheel, which is the best smartphone for kids available out there. They have a new 5G phone available that you guys can check out at pinwheel.com. And if you guys would like to try Pinwheel, so what Pinwheel is it's a phone for kids that doesn't have access to the regular Play Store, the iTunes Store, and all the other stores where they have unlimited access to all the apps and social media and all that other stuff. All the apps that they have on this phone are specifically picked by therapists, by parents, by teachers, people that are really into the, kids in that industry. And they pick apps that make the phone a tool for kids, that make them more productive. So if you guys want 10% off of a Pinwheel phone and you want to find out more about it, you can use promo code OAP10, all together, all in caps, OAPTEN, and that'll get you 10% off of a Pinwheel phone.
Yes.
And if you guys would like to buy us a coffee, like we happen to be drinking today, you guys can do that at buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod. if we met you guys in person and we were at a coffee shop or something, we'd love to buy you guys a coffee and catch up and get to know you. And if you guys would like to buy us a virtual coffee, you guys can do it there at buymeacoffee.com/opposite-paw.
Man, that was a lot.
Good job, babe. You did awesome.
You do amazing.
Oh, man.
The other day we had Joey's little friend here.
Yeah.
Our stepson. It's so funny because Joey's the same way though with his family. You know, he's like, this is my second mom away from home.
It's funny because they're now saying it too.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And what did Evan tell me, baby?
He said you're gonna be famous for having the most quotes. Because you're always like giving them some kind of advice.
Dude, I love having deep conversations.
I thought I was the one that talked a lot. And now he said you're going to be the one famous for having the most quotes.
Yeah, well, they say that you lecture.
Yeah.
Or you just over-explain. That's all. But
yeah,
hey, that's what makes you a great trainer. But it's him. He's a very in tune little boy. I like having deep conversations with him.
Yeah.
And he gets it. And whenever I give him advice, you know, like I know that he's going to put it to work.
Yeah.
You know, and I could tell that he appreciates the conversations that I have with him.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, you were talking about YouTube and all the things that we've learned on there and the resource list and the videos that we have on there. One thing that I recently saw that I haven't mentioned is I've noticed that YouTube has taken away the thumbs down button.
Really?
Yeah, and at first I was just kind of like, well, I have a feeling I know why, because people I don't get it though. Like, it's so that, I don't know if it's so that it doesn't hurt people's feelings or some shit. Like, if you make a shit video and it gets nothing but thumbs down, I'd rather fucking see it.
I'd rather know. Right.
You know, because I'll stop making videos like that.
Right. I get it. I wonder why. Did you look that up to see why they did that?
I don't know. But one of the effects that it's having now that, I mean, I've seen personally is that I'm researching things right now to try to figure out some things to do with some investments and stuff like that, right? And I'm trying to figure out if some of these things are scams or not.
Oh, man.
And usually when you can see the thumbs down and the thumbs up, you can tell if it's a scam. And I'm like, well, now I can't see the thumbs down. So does this video have 10,000 thumbs down and 1,000 thumbs up? Or is it just 1,000 thumbs up and maybe 100 thumbs down? Like, I have no clue. You know what I mean? That kind of sucks. So anyway, that's just something that I kind of noticed. But I mean, I guess if you don't like it, make your own fucking YouTube. I don't know. But it does that. And I've also noticed that I think I mentioned it on, like, there's certain things that you try to look up and it just does not come up. It just does not come up. Like, that's not a search that we do. Which really about sucks. No.
Are you looking at politics?
No. It's crazy because I was thinking about, I was looking something up and it wasn't, I don't think it was a political thing. And it was just like, nah, we don't do that. It's just something that they don't like or whatever. It's like, nah. Yeah, look it up on your own. Like, use another search engine or whatever. It's weird.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks. Yeah. You know, but that's how to be a tyrant. You got to control the media and control what people see.
I was talking to the kids about Christmas and I'm like, hey, are you guys excited? I'm like, are you guys excited to open your gifts? And Audrey's like, she's like, I'm excited. She's like, but I'm not as excited as I used to be. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm sending all your gifts back.
Now you could be really unexcited.
But I can relate. Yeah, like, I'm excited for them. I love Christmas. Like, I love the holidays. I love to decorate. I love the music. I love the smells, right?
Yeah.
Cookies, baking, just all of that. I love that aspect of it. But, like, you've been asking me, what do you want? Like, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And I'm just like, I don't want. Like, I know what you want. You're stupid. You just got me one. You just got me a new one. It looked like a thermometer. that was funny. I was thermometer?
Those are the best ones.
Because I saw on Amazon, I saw that it was arriving, that it was 4 stops away, and Audrey she had a cough, right?
Yeah.
And you're always talking shit about our thermometer. So I'm like, oh, he bought a new thermometer. I'm like, cool.
It's great when they make them to look like things that they're not.
Right?
They're like, what the hell's wrong with this flashlight? Why doesn't it turn? And why is it dripping?
You're stupid. Oh, we were just talking about our kids and Christmas. And we turned it into this. Oh my. Well, hey, they learned the hard way, right?
Right.
So let's talk about this. So, okay. So listen, our room is our dungeon and the kids should not be looking through our shit.
Nope.
Okay. And one time Adriana decided that she was going to go into my drawers and I'm like, hey, you know what? Stay out of my drawers. This is my room. Don't be looking through my stuff. So,
or you'll be talking to somebody about this in the future.
Hold up. But when you tell a kid, especially Audrey, not to do something, what do?
Yeah.
And she learned the hard way. And I told her, don't be looking through my shit.
Dude, we need to get we need to get a safe. But
we have a safe.
We're gonna have a small safe for our guns and a gigantic safe for the dildos.
Babe, I didn't even say. Shut up.
I'm just kidding. Or am I? That's just that's just a blanket term for all the toys.
But it is what it is. Don't be searching through my shit. You just might find something that you're not expecting to find. Right. We talked about it on that one episode. Okay, so you guys, listen, this is not for kids, okay? I walk into my room, and we had moved into this house, and I didn't finish putting everything away, and I don't know how one of my toys ended up in the kids' old treasure box. This is when they were babies, okay? They were little. We had a treasure box for them. And it was a wooden treasure box, and I had it on top of our safe in our closet.
Yeah, they hadn't. I think what it was a treasure box when they were little.
Right.
And they hadn't used that treasure box in years.
Yes.
So I think you were just like, take this.
So I forgot.
And then just throw it in the old treasure box, right?
Yeah, I don't know I don't remember why I put it in there. We were moving. I don't remember why.
Yeah.
But I walked up. I went up to the bedroom. And I found Joey with it underneath his chin, like this, going.
How's he doing?
There, go. Yeah. And I'm like, Joey. I'm like, give me that. What are you doing? He's like, Mom, it feels good. Give it back.
Dude, wait.
I was like, what?
Holy shit.
But what makes this story even funnier is that one day when he's older, he's going to realize what he had on his neck.
I didn't think we were going to get it. If you would have asked me before we started this podcast, what the hell are you guys going to get into or what are you going to talk about? This, I don't think would have I wouldn't have been like, oh, I know what we'll talk about today.
But it's funny as shit.
Right?
And I know that our listeners that are listening that are freaky, right? Because listen, how people ask all the time, like, how do you keep the bedroom heated? How do you keep your... Let
me tell you, we haven't turned the heat on this year, but it's been hot.
Right. But it's like we've been married going on 14 years in July.
Damn.
14 years, and we still have a great time in the bedroom.
So I was bringing up to you the other day. Let's see how much time. We got a little time. About the swing.
Oh.
And the neighbor. Actually, you could talk about the neighbor.
Oh no.
Because we have one of our old neighbors. Right?
By the way, we live in a Mormon community,
which we didn't know when we moved in.
No, we didn't.
Right. And you can tell that one, and I'll tell the one before.
Okay, so we have a new neighbor, and we have the same model.
Yeah, same model home.
Floor plan, yes. And he wanted, because I guess the people who lived here before us made some changes, upgrades, whatever.
Everybody's nosy. We're all nosy. It's like, I wonder what the inside of their house looks like. I mean, because it's the outside looks like ours, and we know what ours looks like, but I wonder how they did theirs.
Yes. So he asked if he can, take a look. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm with him and we're going around. And then we get to the bedroom. He's like, man, your bedroom's a lot bigger. I wonder, if they expanded it, whatever. Okay. And then he looks up to the ceiling and he's like, huh. He's like, were those in before you guys moved?
The hooks in the ceiling.
Yeah, there's like big metal hooks. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, huh.
Well, you didn't know what to say.
I told him yes.
But you were caught off guard. You didn't think he was going to freaking bring that up.
Oh, no. Well, of course not. I forgot about those hooks in the ceiling.
So I had put the hooks up, yeah.
Yes. But I take him up there and, he sees them and he asks me, were those hooks put in, were they in before you guys moved? And I was like, oh, fuck. I'm like, yes. I said yes. And
fucking blaming it on the old owners.
I know. And he's like, I never pictured them that way.
So we're like, yeah, I found this weird ball with a strap on it in the in the closet.
Oh my God. But that was so embarrassing. And then I remember our niece.
Yeah.
And I told her that we hung our plants on him. For our plants.
Oh my God. Freaking funny.
You just have to have fun. You've been married. There's so many couples out there that are not having fun anymore. And it's like, why? Well, I just gave you some reasons.
Yep. Stop being so uptight. Have fun with your partner.
Have fun. Yes. Yeah. Lock the kids out. Yeah. Lock them up. Throw away the key. No.
Yep. So
it's a little more challenging these days, but it's all good. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yep. So how does this Christmas rank on your Christmases?
Now that I have my 2 Christmas trees, and it's been really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very festive. We have the best neighborhood ever. We have tons of kids. We had carolers the other day going from house to house.
They've done that the last 2 nights in a row. It's just been a mob of people down the street.
And I've never had that before.
It's been pretty cool.
The other house that's not something that you see only in the movies. Only in the movies.
I think this has been the most I've been into Christmas. Yes. I think it's been one of the best Christmases. Yeah, it's been cool. I mean, I like Christmas too.
And thank you for giving in to me.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, babe, you act like I'm freaking
dude.
Like I'm a
You
Grinch.
were against giving me my second tree. You were like, what?
Yeah.
And I don't know what made you give in, but you did. So we have a Christmas tree downstairs and we have one upstairs.
Yeah.
Yep. And I got some new Christmas blow up
dolls. Yeah. It's been cool.
Yes. No, I love it. You know, and I think the kids, enjoy it. And I just love our neighborhood. We have tons of kids and, the neighbors. Like I've never had, been really close to any of our previous neighbors when we lived in the other house. And this time around, we go and have a couple drinks, laugh together, listen to music together. It's fun. I love it. I mean, we have a very hot neighborhood, meaning people are asking to
like come through and
to move in. Like there's no houses for sale and people are like, this is where I want to live. They're looking for houses in this neighborhood.
Yep.
So
last week when we were talking to Daniel, there was a part when we were talking about, I guess, tips for parents. And he started by saying something like for parents to understand that their kids came from them, but like that they don't own their kids.
Oh yes.
You know?
Yes.
And I've kind of I've told you recently, like I've had that thought more. And like I've kind of started realizing like once like like they're their own being.
Yes.
And regardless of your beliefs or how the world started and whether somebody's watching us or there's a God that oversees everything, regardless of all of that.
Yep.
This is their life also.
Yes.
And like we as parents, like we need to protect them. I mean, we also, I don't know, it's weird because sometimes you feel like you shouldn't influence them. You should let them be their own person. But that's not always true. Like you as a parent, like that is your job, is to give them some influence sometimes.
Right. But it's not, this is the way. This is the way. This is what you're going to be when you grow up.
But at the end of the day, I mean, when it's all said and done, and this goes for us as individuals, like nobody owes you shit and you don't know anybody's shit. This is your life. You get one chance at this thing. Mm-hmm. And saying that doesn't mean that, because this is your life and you don't owe anybody shit, doesn't mean that you treat everybody else like shit and you put, everybody else down and you put yourself first. Because when you have other people around you, like that enriches your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, when you say you don't owe people shit or whatever, I mean, basically what you're saying is that, I don't know. I feel as a parent, our job is to help them to realize who they are.
I think in a way, kind of what I was saying was because of like the expectations with Daniel and his parents and the expectations that parents put on their kids and college and you got to do this and you got to do. It's like, you know what? This is your life. You don't know anybody's shit. Do what's going to make you happy. But what I'm saying is like that, I mean, people may think, well, drugs and hookers gonna make me. No, it's the family, the community. Like for us, that makes us happy. Yeah.
A big part of being a parent is leading by example.
Yeah.
It is. It's leading by example. It's treating your kids the way you want to be treated. Giving them a voice, letting them know that they're being seen, they're being heard. And helping them, not telling them, but helping them to recognize their gifts and what they're good at, but not influencing your vision of how you see them.
Yeah.
You understand? Like if I didn't live my life the way I wanted to live my life, if I decided to have kids at a young age, if I decided not to attend college, if I decided, do you see what I'm saying? If I didn't do the things that I wish I would have done and I'm trying to live that life through my kids, that is wrong.
Yeah.
That is wrong.
Yeah, you're not allowing them to live their life.
Right.
And kind of like that, like where this is their life. I mean, I think if you see it that way and you help them kind of live that way, like understanding like, yeah, I'm going to try and influence you. I'm going to try to do my best I can to teach you things that are important and this and that. But this is your life. So I will let you make decisions and do things and give you advice. Like you may not, like this may not be the best, but at a certain point, at a certain age, it's your life and you're allowed to live it the way you want.
And the thing of it is that when the kids are little, you have all the power to influence them. Do you understand? You have all the power because they look up to you. They idol you. Yep. You are their superhero. And once they start to grow and discover, they're going to recognize. They're going to see.
Yeah, they'll see
that they've been living for you and not themselves.
Yeah.
And that's when they start to rebel as teenagers.
And also when they get older, they'll see that as a parent, like if you try to do things right, hopefully, I mean, and that's the thing is that there's no guarantees to anything.
Right.
There's no guarantees to anything because you don't know how it's going to turn out in the future. But all you can do is do the best you can. The one thing that we've always talked about is sometimes kids just turn out the way they turn out, but we try to give them a better starting point, a better jump off point than what we had.
Right.
It doesn't mean that without a doubt everything's going to be great, but they have a better chance. We're trying to give them the best chance possible.
And that's our job as parents.
And when they get older, hopefully they'll see that We tried to help them learn the things that were important. We helped them make the best decisions possible. Yep. And we let them make the mistakes that they should have made. Yep. And, I'm sure we've made mistakes.
Oh, of course.
And they'll see that. They'll see that in the future. But,
yeah. Being a parent is not easy. It's not easy.
As long as you do the best you can. But it is
so rewarding. Like when you see, like for me and for you, I've seen a huge change in you, your patience, you just being more mindful with the kids, being more patient with yourself. It's also you being kind to yourself because you are also very hard on yourself as well.
I have.
And you're leading, and Joey sees, and that's the thing. Like you could tell the kids, whatever you want to tell them.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you're not putting what you're saying into action and you're doing the total opposite of what you're telling your kids, these kids are not dumb. They are going to see it for what it is. And they will call you out. They will rebel. They will do whatever they can to find themselves.
I'll give you an example of where Joey kind of saw like a change, I think. Because like you said, I am hard on myself sometimes. And especially when it comes to, things like this podcast, I expect a lot. And it's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing to expect, like to have high expectations.
No, for sure. That's why it sounds good. That's why, yes.
I mean, because I know I can. If I didn't have the skill or like whatever, like I know what I'm capable of, and that's what I expect is the best quality that I'm capable of. And there was that one episode that we had a couple months ago or whatever with Mr. and Mrs. Smith that was tough. Like I messed up on the recording of it.
Yes.
And I didn't realize it while we were doing it, which is great because that would have threw me off more maybe. But afterward, I saw that I didn't have a setting right and that their video wasn't going to come out the way that I wanted it to. And I was pretty pissed.
Yeah.
And that is something that really pisses me off because when I put something out, like I said, I want it to be the best quality possible. Right. And like Joey came over and I showed him, but I was pissed. But I think it was like appropriately pissed because that's the thing. You're not supposed to not be pissed, right? It's not like, whatever. Fuck it.
Right.
Because I get pissed because I care. And because I'm passionate about this.
Tell him that?
And I told him, and I was like, look, like I messed this up. Like it should have been like this. And I was showing him like the editing and all that. And I was like, I am not happy about this. I told him straight. I was like, I am not happy about this. Like I'm pretty upset with myself. And I was like, but there's really nothing I can do about it.
Right.
Because it's over.
Right.
So now the only thing that I can do is try to do the best I can with this, try to fix it. And, and that is one thing that I realized afterward, that even though it came out messed up, I still put out the best possible quality video, even though it was messed up. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't just say, fuck it.
Right.
I still tried to do the best I could with what I had.
Right.
And I showed it to Joe, and I think Joe kind of he was like, wow, like, I don't know, like I was angry for a second, and then it was just kind of, all right, let's move on.
Yep.
Yep.
It's like you can't tell your kids to make their bed first thing in the morning if you're not making yours.
Yep. And I think he's kind of realized that, and he's doing that too sometimes. Instead of he's not getting as pissed off, or he'll get pissed off for a little bit and then it goes away.
I think that's the number one parent tip for everyone is to lead by example.
Yeah.
Lead by example. You can say whatever you want to say, but if you're not doing it, they're going to pick up on that.
Yeah. Yep. For sure. So we hope you guys had an incredible Christmas. We hope you guys had a blast celebrating with your family and your friends, and you guys got all the gifts that you could possibly dream of. And if you didn't, it's all good.
Yes.
We're still alive.
Eat until you explode. No.
Yeah. So thank you guys for listening. We got one more show before the end of the year.
This is crazy. I want to listen to the last episode from last year.
Yeah. So we'll see. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for being with us.
We love you guys. Thanks for all the support, and thank you for watching Opposites Attract podcast,
where we get better
together. Bye.